Does that mean that we're gonna have summer's gonna
Yeah,
end early this
did
year?
it see its shadow, or did
I
you see
don't.
its shadow?
I didn't see any shadow. It was in a hole the same size as its body, so I don't think there would have been any room for a shadow. But it was peeking out of a hole, and I was above it, like over a ledge, looking at it, and he was just like looking out very gracefully towards the Hudson, like like the good little um like security
Mole thing that he
watch
is.
that he was. Yeah, yeah, he was very fuzzy, and he looked like he could be like the dad, like and the mother didn't have the babies yet, so it's like in the inside, he's protecting them, and he's just like the day soldier, like keeping watch.
It was very
It was just so like
being creative for this.
Your
yeah,
groundhog law,
he was
your
just.
groundhog law lore is
I
interesting.
mean, I mean, it's just so like regal, like they blink like us, like it's crazy.
That's what makes someone regal is they blinking like
No,
us.
no, no, it's the whole thing. It's the
Don't make
whole
fun of
thing.
him, Kamal. Don't make fun of him. He's having a moment.
I'm gonna make fun of him.
I said,
Now,
like, imagine if we traded places. Like,
on the
could you
opposite end of
absorb
the spectrum, I was on the train home the other day, and I don't know why this
naked
thought
mole
came.
rat?
I don't know why this thought came to mind when you started talking about this groundhog, but I guess it was peaceful, and my moment was not peaceful. I'm standing on the train, and there's this guy who's like listening to like a Walkman. It was either Walkman or CD player or whatever, and he's sitting down in the front of the train, and he's minding his own business. Then all of a sudden, I have my headphones on, so I can't really hear what's happening around me. But all of a sudden, this other seemingly homeless man, walks up and is like talking to him, but like he's gesturing, and like he seems angry, but he doesn't seem like crazy. He just seems upset, and like they're having a conversation. But the guy that's sitting down is very meek. He's just like, he's just kind of taking it. And like I said, I have my headphones on, so I don't really know what the argument was about. But then all of a sudden, the guy who was standing up like punches the the like wall behind, like the wall of the train, and I'm
Mhm.
like, holy shit, like this escalated very quickly. So at that point, like my headphones are off, and he's screaming like, you know who I am? I'm from Edenwald Projects, nigga. Like he's getting like hype, and he's like about to fight this guy. And the older guy who's sitting down, he like gets up and he starts reaching towards the emergency brakes, and everyone on the train is like, no. And he stops because like everyone is against him now.
Oh
And
my god!
one comes from like the other side of the train and like grabs the guy who's like yelling, but he was started to walk away anyway. But he just kept saying like, he's from Edenwell Projects, you know who I am, blah blah blah.
Wow.
What I
Was this
didn't
the
tell you,
5 train?
no, it was the D train. You know how to do with the
Mm.
D train.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, you're on the
Yeah.
D.
And
Whoa.
what I didn't tell you is that the guy who was like, I'm from Edenwell Projects, nigga, was like this short, white, Italian looking man with like a ponytail. And I was just
Oh
like, wow, this is
no.
strange. Like, not what I expected him to say.
Wait, the guy who said that was a white Italian man?
Yeah, I mean, he was definitely white. I don't know if he was Italian, but he had like a long, greasy ponytail. Um, and yeah, he was
Uh,
very animated. So that's
very
that's,
animated.
that's my response to your nice, calm groundhog moment.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
It's okay.
Like, just like you're just trying to get home. Like, what,
Yeah, trying to get
why?
home, man. Life in New York. It's getting, you know what? It's getting warm outside. That's the thing. People are just out of their mind when it gets hot.
People are
Yeah,
like, mm.
it's like that thing where the summer comes and murders and the sale of ice cream come up, so they think that they're correlated.
All that ice cream is inspiring on that killing.
Fucking pistachio.
Oh wait, that reminds me of another thing. Kamal, you'll remember this. I don't know if Mike knows about this. On the first day of high school, I don't remember if they passed out these name tags or if Kamal just had one. But you know those "Find My Name Is" name tags
Yeah.
that they have. Mike, do you remember? Do you know this? What Kamal wrote? He didn't write his name. I'll tell you that.
Oh, of course not.
Wait,
Come on, you don't remember what you wrote?
I don't remember.
Wow, this is like legendary. I'll never forget this. Like this is so ingrained in me
I'm
that
so
whenever
glad
I
that we
hear,
have you to remember these things.
I have nothing else going on in my life. So whenever I hear this specific tune, I think of this.
Oh,
Is
Mr.
it giving?
Softy?
There you go.
That's
So
what
when
you wrote.
he wrote, it said, "Hello, my name is Mr. Softy." This is the first day of high school. I'm like, who is this man? Like,
Wait,
why?
did I
Why
write
is this?
one?
I don't know. I don't know if it was just our
I don't
homeroom. I
remember
don't know if
that.
just Kamal had it. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if he was the only
If
one.
I pulled it
He
out,
brought the stickers.
Like, come on, no one asked you to do this. Like, because
Hi,
I
my
really
name
don't
is
remember
Mr.
it.
Softy. Like,
That's what he
that's
wrote. That's what he
that's
wrote.
hilarious.
that's actually pretty classic. I like that.
So whenever
Yeah,
I see or hear the Mr. Softy like jingle or the truck passing by, I think about Kamal.
I'm
It's
glad.
forever in my mind.
Oh man, high school me
I feel
was
like
something else. I don't know.
So strange.
Uh, I was so weird. It was so
Such a
weird.
strange guy.
I don't
I
know.
think
It was
I
Just
think
oddly
you've
aggressive.
morphed into the perfect like post high school. Come
Right.
on.
Like you really
I
just
think
like
so.
mellowed out. You really mellowed out. Like you really just
Yeah, I think I don't know. It was a lot of it was I don't know. I think it was a battle, a mix of like uh insecurity and I don't know what else.
listen, we were all there with you, man.
And
It
Yeah,
was a good
really.
time. Especially
yeah,
Mike. Mike was definitely there with you.
Oh my god, I was a sick motherfucker. Not that I've changed, but
Right.
yeah,
I was just literally like on some like I hate everybody.
yeah. That definitely wasn't it for me. I don't know. I think it
No.
was. I don't know. I don't know what it was.
That's a
All right.
good segue. I feel like the Mr. Softy thing into children and Bill Gates.
Yeah. Let's get
I
into
don't.
it.
I don't know how, but what? Because
I
of the
mean,
charity?
because Bill
Well,
Gates has children and we were once children. Second.
Oh,
well, no, and
wow.
Mr. Softy sells to children.
There you go.
Like what? Like Bill Gates
It
selling
writes itself.
Microsoft to children? Oh.
Yes.
Like,
Yes.
is he gonna give her money to get them future Mr. Softy?
I thought
they
you were
they
gonna.
probably don't have it in
I thought you were gonna talk about
Palm Springs.
their foundation because doesn't that help like with
I don't
like
know. Come
those
on. We were just trying to make a thing. All right.
that
Their foundation is soft like the ice cream. Like, is that what
I don't know. I've done better transitions, guys.
Yes,
But
we know. No
so
one is
you
perfect except for you.
so
I'll go
what?
back to the drawing board. All right, what do you want me to
Yeah,
tell you?
for
All
the
right.
for the audience that doesn't know, Bill Gates and his wife
For any audience. No, I'm just kidding.
was it Melinda?
Melinda Gates, the OG.
Melinda Gates are getting have agreed. I think they said they've agreed to get divorced
Mhm.
to a divorce after 27 years of marriage, I think, and 34 years of being together.
Right.
That's a long time.
Is Bill Gates
Uh,
still the richest man in the world? I
no,
feel like
I
he
think
was.
it's
It's
he's
Bezos
definitely
now,
been
right?
passed by Bezos and Musk. Yeah,
Oh,
I think
Musk is
it's
up there now.
I think Bezos is again, but like Musk took him over for like a couple
Mhm.
of months last year or
Right.
earlier this year. Yeah,
Google in 71 seconds, Bezos.
yeah.
Okay, so yeah,
By
Musk.
the
Oh, Gates is like 4 now.
mhm.
Damn, the
Yeah,
Bernard
he's
Arnault
been.
family.
Hmm?
The hell is that?
They're like fashion people.
Oh,
They own like a bunch of fashion houses.
wait. Also, what's Buffett doing these days in our
Uh,
fantasy billionaire
this
bucks?
is
I don't know.
weird. This list has. That's not the point of the list. The point of the
You
list is
Where
Bill
is
Gates and Bezos.
Kanye?
you want to talk
I
about
think
something weird? Why is Elon Musk hosting SNL for some reason?
that's
Why not?
insane.
I mean,
Is it?
it's just trendy.
Your last name is a stench. Like,
But yeah. So I don't know. What's our
So there was a video that I sent the guys, where
the
what
fellas.
the fellas. I kind of hate that that's our tagline, but also I like it. It's what Kamal says, and I'm like, yeah, that's what he calls it. So Van Lathan has a podcast that I follow it pretty closely on Instagram, and he was saying, Bill and Melinda Gates getting this divorce. How much money does Melinda Gates deserve, or how much has she earned? Some might say, uh, within this, what do you call that payout? What's that? What's that term? I don't know.
Like alimony? No.
Divorce
Not
settlement.
alimony, but yeah,
Divorce
settlement.
settlement.
Yeah, settlement. That's the word I wanted. So his co-host, whose name I'm trying to find right now because I can't remember at the moment.
Doesn't matter.
It does matter. We
It
gotta
doesn't matter.
prop up these women while we can.
Oh
But
God, you see what they do to us?
oh, so his co-host basically said what 3 billion. Yes,
3-4 billion.
and Kamal vehemently disagrees with that valuation.
Well,
And let's
well,
let's let's keep in mind for the audience. Okay, this is why the list is important. It says right now that Bill Gates has $98 billion,
hmm
and Kamal thinks
Yeah.
that 3 billion is too much for Melinda Gates. Why? Tell me why you hate women, Kamal.
huh?
Tell me
One
why
thing.
you hate
Well,
women.
one thing. I hate people with that level of wealth in general.
Of
I
course. Are you wearing the Bernie shirt today?
yeah.
Yes, thank you.
I I I don't think they should. I don't think they should exist. Just on a moral aspect. I don't believe that a woman should get the GDP of small countries in divorce settlements, while there are hundreds of thousands of homeless people, millions of homeless people across this country. So you guys they can go fuck themselves with that.
Mhm.
Uh, when it comes to the actual um, the marriage, and I I don't know. It's weird. It's like I don't know where this this idea that like mm,
She's
it,
earned
it,
something.
it goes back to the idea that like we've talked about in the past about women being the prize in relationships, the gatekeepers, the
Right.
goal to be achieved. So like you think being a wife to someone is
It is a
somehow
it is a full
a
time job.
is a job. I was like, for one thing, this is a partnership, right?
Okay, wait. Let me stop you there
Right?
because I don't know the dynamics of their family life, right?
In
But
terms of what?
in terms of how they split raising the kids, spending time with the kids, is Bill away doing the
I
work
don't.
industry at home,
For one thing,
type
he
of
was
thing?
a multi-billionaire. But when they met,
Yes, yes.
no amount. First thing, she's not single-handedly raising those. She wasn't
Okay,
single-handedly
wait,
raising those kids
wait,
to
wait.
begin with.
Let me
Two,
pose my question.
no amount of parenting is worth $3 billion. You can fuck off with that. I'm
What is
sorry.
okay? Let me. I didn't. That's not what I was saying. So what I was gonna say is I don't know how their parenting setup affected. And this is my question to you: Melinda's ability to generate her own money. So it's worth noting that Melinda was like crucial in the development of like some of the early programs, Excel, I think
She
Word as
was
well.
she was a
Um,
an executive for like
right, she
program
held a
coordination something,
position within the company.
and then
So
she left to start a family.
right, so she left to start the family, which is something that only she could do in that particular way that
Yeah.
Bill could not do or would
Yeah.
not be able to do. So,
Yes.
my question is, especially for a person like her, where she was, able to do certain things that she stopped doing to have this family that they agreed that they were going to do you
hmm
think that she deserves more? I mean, I'm assuming the answer is no, but do you think that because she has essentially missed on opportunities by deciding to raise this family, do you think that justifies more? Because I do feel like
No.
she in a way was a part of the growth of the business. Well, not that I feel that she definitely was a part of the growth of the business. I don't know how much of it was nepotism. Like, of course, the guy whose wife knows computers is going to get this high-ranking job, but like,
Microsoft was maybe first thing, we don't know the relationship on like her working at the position
right,
contributing to actual growth and expansion of Microsoft.
mm,
Microsoft was already to an extent Microsoft by that point. It wasn't as big because computers and digital
Right.
in tech companies weren't
You
as
can't
big.
discount that either. Like she held those positions for a long period of time, and there's it's
That
not like we
leadership
saw.
position she only held for like a few years. Let's be fair, according to
Okay.
Wikipedia.
Uh, so she held this position. It's not like it crumbled under her. It's not like she was, to my knowledge at least, that she was ruining the business or hurting the business anyway, and like she was forced out. It seems like the agreement was, okay, we've reached the point where we want to have this family. Now I need you to step down from what you're doing in your career, and because that uh, is going to have an impact on your physical well-being, it does have an impact on your mental well-being and your career maneuverability. Maybe that makes her, justified in having a higher payout than maybe someone else who was just a homemaker who just raised the kids. And again, we're talking about billionaires here, right? So like they had maids, they had people mowing the lawn, they had people doing the
Mm.
private meals. So like, what is really like a billionaire homemaker? What?
On top of that, forget that this idea that you're in a marriage and then you guys decide to break up and like there's and then like this entitled you're entitled because you're like because the justification that the woman on the podcast is giving is she was the wife, she was supporting him, she held him down and stuff like that. One thing, you're supposed to do that out of um love and compassion for your partner, not
Yeah.
because like you plan that like 30 years down the line
Rachel
when you
Lindsay.
guys break
Rachel
up
Lindsay
you'll
is
get
her name, the co-host. Sorry,
doesn't
I just want
matter,
to put it matters.
doesn't matter, but she
It matters.
that 30 years down the line when you guys break up you'll get several, I don't know, they're probably going to get she'll probably get she'll get tens of billions of dollars because of it. No, I'm sorry, no amount of back rubs and um, delivering of tea is worth tens of billions of dollars to a relationship. Not
Mike,
saying
you
that
got
that's
any
what she.
thoughts, Mike?
Yes, I'm belittling at the moment the idea of her being a supportive wife because
Domesticity.
I don't believe that like
Okay,
I
but
believe in marriages and relationships being partnerships. So like this idea that like you lead that like it's this one sided thing where you're a man and you provide nothing but money and like the woman is doing all this for you and you're doing nothing. She's not receiving anything from you. She's not receiving anything emotional, um, psychological in terms of support and assistance or whatever like that. So okay, continue, Mike. Sorry.
no, I mean, I just think that we're getting lost in the idea that because they're billionaires, like this applies to them differently. First off, I just want to say that the idea that she should get $3 billion is misguided because Bill Gates doesn't have $3 billion to give her. Okay, at most he has like $1 billion in cash or in actual liquid assets. There's no he may be worth $100 billion, but there's no way that unless he like literally had to give her shares of stock, like there's
But
no way.
let's
I'm
not get
sure
into
that's part of it.
semantics though. I
Yeah,
mean,
like
he'll
the
give her
money is
a
not
house.
part.
He'll give her a
Okay,
couple cars.
Yeah,
Let's
yeah,
let's.
houses, cars,
let's not get into
island,
how we break down 3 billion.
islands.
I'm just saying, like
The idea,
that part's realistic,
but
and
let's talk
then
about the idea that you're
I
exiting
think it's very fair. I'm saying that I think the money is obscuring it because, like, I've heard of other people who obviously are not billionaires who they have established a life with their husband, and it's it's traditionally it's like the woman who is not
who
who
ends the
doesn't have this,
relationship.
but it could be the man. But legally, when you separate, they have to pay money if they've already established a lifestyle
That's
to
bullshit.
support themselves.
That's bullshit. Then
It's
you know
that's
what
marriage law.
then and of course it is what it is a terrible way of justifying anything because then if that was the case we'd still be in wooden huts and I would still be
No,
Um,
we're out of the wooden huts. That's
I'd
why
be,
women
I
get the
would have,
money.
I'd be running away from, I don't know, I'd be running away from Mike and his kinsman. Um,
Whoa, whoa! You would be running away from Tony Soprano. Okay, no.
definitely him. But no. So like we can. So yeah. So I agree. I think that marriage
You're
law
telling me that if
is
if
archaic.
you're
I don't believe in like continuous lifestyle. If especially since it's true that like women on average are the ones who file for divorce more often. If you want to, if you
you
the
don't
idea,
know that's
no,
true.
it is. I think the
I mean,
number
that
is
would make
like
sense to me, considering that like
70+%
they're the
of
ones being
relationships.
beaten and abused a lot of the time too. So I think it's just enough
70
for
seven. I think it's
divorce
like I
when
think
your
it's
husband's
seventy
cheating
plus
on you,
percent.
beating you. You
Yes,
know,
yes,
But
because
just think of it
that's all that
like
men do is beat and
a lot of the times. I'm
that's all
just
men do. Well, if we're doing that, then women file for most on average file for divorce more often. The idea that you agree to a relationship and that you're gonna exit it and still reap the financial benefits of being in that relationship is absurd to me. This
yeah,
lifestyle,
but
this
you
lifestyle
could take it
preservation
back to
thing,
when they
nah.
were when
Stay
they were having kids. Like
stay
the man could have had a choice to not have kids with her and put her in that position that to be a supportive mother and raise children and stuff. Like that you're just saying that the just because the woman made the choice, well, the man made the choice to you know um be a father too and
what's your point?
give her a
Why
lifestyle
why does that entitle you to
because
if you want
that's
if you want to live
dependency.
if you want to live in a certain lifestyle, you know what that means? You stay in a relationship. I don't yes,
No.
no,
yes.
no.
Oh
I'm s-
boy.
I'm
You
I'm
don't
saying I'm
like
saying it.
this.
I'm saying it.
Can
If
I just
you
give an example? Can I just give
sure.
an example?
Please.
You get married to a woman, okay? You lost your job recently and you're married and maybe you got married cuz she's pregnant. You have a kid. You say, "Okay, I'm going to stay home. I'm going to be childcare while she works." Your ultimate plan is obviously get back into the working world, get your job back. She makes a good salary. You guys decide, okay, right now it's good enough where she can provide for us. I'll watch the kids. Then all of a sudden it goes sour. You guys are falling apart. She wants a divorce, or you want it. Doesn't I don't think it really matters who wants a divorce. And you file for in the divorce. You file for her to pay you a certain amount of money to be able to live your life as a single person because you have agreed to be childcare in the time when she was providing and creating, you giving your income and stuff like that.
No, I disagree about this as a concept. So just switching the roles doesn't is not going to work. I don't think he
But
should get that either.
what if you became a single dad and you were getting custody of the children and you had no financial income?
Child support is different from alimony support. We still have you and the
So
partner
you're paying child
you
support. That's what
still
you're
share you still share a
saying.
child
But you
together.
would take the child support.
I believe in a reasonable amount of child support in that
Okay.
instance
All
if
right.
you're separated. I don't believe in lifestyle support. I don't believe in that.
I don't think it's called lifestyle support. That makes
That's
it sound
that's
like,
that's
like
what
I
I'm
pay for her
calling it.
surfboard.
That's what they do though. Wait. Why? Wait. Wait. What does any person need with multi billions of dollars for what purpose?
I
You don't
again
you
I don't
don't
think
you don't
I don't think
you
that's
don't
relevant.
you don't
If
need
he was 100,000 it would be it would be a large sum. It would be say 100,000 a year or something like that.
then
Like
I wait, then you shouldn't
it's
wait,
only
no, then you
relative.
wait. You weren't you and like I said, I still don't believe that the man or the woman should be entitled for like basically funding their continued life after the relationship is over.
All right.
That's a thing that people do.
I'm
They'll get with
we
a
we
new
just
partner
we went
and
over
not
this.
get married.
We went over this already. Just because that's the way it is doesn't mean I believe that's the way it should be. I believe that's messed up to begin with.
All right. Speaking of the way that things are and the way that they might be soon, a lot of laws have been coming up recently regarding transgender women in sports, particularly in like the middle school, high school groupings. Um, a lot of laws are being proposed, bills, different things like that are trying to be signed
In the
in
South,
the
point that
South.
out.
Yes, it's worth noting. In the South, that would place a lot of restraints and essentially take trans women out of
Well,
well,
trans people in
transgender
general.
people, yeah, transgender people out of whatever sports category they feel which I feel they should be allowed to participate in. So, question there, based off of something that Caitlyn Jenner recently came out, obviously a very popular, well-known transgender woman, Caitlyn Jenner, who was also a prolific athlete during her time, had a lot to say on this topic,
A
and
victim of alimony. No.
also a victim of, also a victim of divorce settlement. Fantastic work, Michael. Fantastic work. Thank you for
That's what I'm here for.
that.
Keep it rolling.
So, Caitlyn Jenner came out and was in support of these bills, basically citing an advantage for these athletes that are playing in, I guess, how she's identifying it outside of their physical capabilities,
Hmm.
or saying that they shouldn't be qualified based off of their physical capabilities.
Yeah.
Um, so I guess the question is, let's Mike. I want to start with Mike, and then we'll get into Kamal because I know Kamal's chomping at the bit here. Mike, where are you with it? How do you feel? Any thoughts?
Uh, I
I know this is
mean,
a tough one. Don't worry about getting canceled. Just
yeah. Oh, I'm never worried about being canceled. I don't give a fuck. I just think it's just like, like that thing we do where you're just like, mwah, like like of course Caitlyn Jenner is the person talking about this. Like,
yeah,
please tell me more about who should be dismissed from sports.
yeah.
um, I I of course this is in the South again. Mwah. Like, I just like middle school. Like, does anybody actually give a shit about middle school sports? Like, could we
No.
just let the kids
Right,
play?
right.
Like, we're
Um,
just trying to get a little sweaty and have fun. Like, what happened to that?
I don't know. I really don't know. I also just want to throw out there that like this whole thing, from the way that I can see it, is the focus is usually on trans women participating in women's athletics. Like you don't often see it like the other way around. As far as like people complaining, or at least like the general fear that's involved. But then also some I don't know if it was an analyst or some personality was basically saying like kind of what Mike's saying. Since when does anyone care about women's sports,
No,
high
that's the
school
point.
sports?
Thank you.
Like
I think it's
where are these
I.
southern just like women's sports advocates coming from all of a sudden?
Wait. Am I allowed to? Can
We
I
need to
speak?
keep the middle school team pure.
Go ahead,
Okay?
Kamal.
Am I allowed to speak? All
Unleash,
Yeah,
right.
go ahead.
unleash. Just
Super
rip
layer.
into everyone.
Super layer thing. And like Mike said, of course, Caitlyn Jenner, the uh, arguably the worst Kardashian right now of all, the worst, most privileged Kardashian of all the
Please, Caitlin,
Kardashians.
enlighten us.
Like and of course, Caitlyn Jenner, a transgender woman, would try to restrict the opportunities and um, the acceptability of other trans women in society. Great, Caitlyn Jenner kills a person, vehicle manslaughter, and thinks
Oh
that
yeah, I forgot about that.
she should be the one to run the state of California. Just beautiful, the privilege.
Like, you
I'm
shouldn't
not
hate
getting
Caitlyn Jenner because she's transgender. You should
no,
hate her because she's a
because she's a
killer
piece
of
of shit.
fun.
Yes, she's a
Like,
and people and
she's a
people.
dud. Yeah, seriously, and
She,
people.
yeah. But on the I don't know. For some reason, I've kind of um oddly felt passionate about this issue in like recent years. I don't know. It kind of I don't know. It just hits home in me somewhere that like
Are
it
you telling us
just
something?
Yeah, I was
No,
gonna say, does it hit
no,
home right
no.
in your transgender spot?
I still identify as a cisgendered male. I'm sorry,
Okay.
guys.
All right.
Why
But
you don't
no,
have to
Keep us posted.
apologize?
um,
Canceled.
but no, it's like we've been saying. I totally believe that this is only that this transgender wave of anti-transgender legislation is just a tool by like Southern Republicans to like rally their base up
Mhm.
that in the fact that they've lost the White House and they've lost some
Whoa,
some
whoa, whoa! I
some
mean, it was
Senate seats.
stolen from them. They didn't lose
Yeah,
anything.
Yeah, my
watch
bad,
your language.
my bad, my bad. It
Right.
was stolen from them, and the one true president is still not actually
Yeah.
at the White House. He's somewhere else. My bad, I forgot.
Mm.
But yeah, it's totally. I think it's totally political. Well, it's no offense to the South, but it's the South, so they make their bigotry is strong down there. So I'm not surprised.
Skewed to
Um,
perfection down there.
Mwah.
yeah, 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 yeah. I think um, but the biggest thing about this is we're talking for one, transgender individuals take up like a like a sliver of the national population. It's like a couple of million maybe,
Right.
and that's hard. That's even hard to determine because of like I don't know statistics on like transgenderism is kind of
Yeah, not
unreliable at
everyone
this.
comes out publicly with it anyway. So
Yeah,
it's like,
unreliable in
yeah.
how they track it on like if you're
Right.
transitioned, if you're like in the process, yada yada. But like we've said, for one, a lot of people don't give a fuck about women's sports to begin
Mhm.
with. So we know damn well that most people that a lot of these Republicans don't give a damn about women high school and middle school sports,
Right.
collegiate sports. No, they don't give a fuck about them. They're doing this because it's a tool to bludgeon a minority group and to heighten up conservatives who are often racist and
Right.
bigoted toward
It
other
just gives
groups.
them something to fight for. Like I feel like
Yeah,
that's what it
it
was.
gets them energized now that their leader is
Because they're like,
that
well,
their
yeah,
leader.
yeah, like we don't want trans girls, and
Yeah,
yeah, like
my so
it's like
like
we
I said,
never saw that.
millions. There's only a few, probably a few million in the country, and then
Mhm.
there's a few other, and then even less than that play sports. Even less than that are identified as transgender by their high school, by the point of middle school or high school. So like, so you're really going to make laws and discriminate against this small group of people, so that one girl on the volleyball team doesn't lose her spot out to a trans woman who is better than her.
Mhm.
Really, that's what we're going to do. And for one thing, it's not a guarantee. Yes, on average, men have different and arguably superior physical builds when it comes to women. For
Mhm.
one thing, all men and women don't have the same body types. There are big, strong, tall women and small, short, shriveled men. Like people come in all different shapes and sizes. So like it's not some guarantee that like what do you call it? That just because you have a XY chromosome that like you're just gonna be dominating the entire thing.
Okay,
Uh,
let's play a little devil's advocate here because I do feel that we're all on the same page, but I
sure.
think there's fair arguments and concerns. I would say particularly from you're laughing, particularly from parents. Like, let's say you have a daughter who's 14 years old, freshman in high school, right? And let's say she loses her spot on the basketball team. I mean, it's real. This it saying
It
it is
doesn't work.
saying it
So
is stupid because
it
it's not
doesn't work.
realistic.
So
But just for the sake, say
if
for the
she
sake of
lost
argument,
it to if she lost it to
you lost it
another
to like
girl,
15
an,
other people,
if she lost it
not
to
just one.
another cisgendered girl who was
Right?
better than her,
There'd be no
then
argument.
will we be making laws about it?
But
No, you're just
let's
upset.
okay, different proposal. She's on the team. She's on the team, right? And there's another girl on another team who fucking rocks her shit, just posterizes her, crosses her up, breaks her ankles night in night out, right?
There are
Night in, night out.
In what sport? All right, what basketball?
Basketball.
Not again.
Okay. So wait. There are
She
differences.
ices her ankles every night.
But that's the thing though. Even
It's like, God damn
even
that trans woman.
even in separately gendered sports, there are like enormous differences between each individual person. Like you have
Yes.
shorter, smaller players and
Mhm.
bigger, taller players. Like for God's sakes, Muggsy Bogues and Shaq played in the same league.
At the
They
same time.
they like the only thing they have in common is gender.
Hmm.
Like they are so different in terms of
Okay, let's
physical
go.
capabilities and
Let's go to
differences.
the sport that people always bring up. MMA.
Fighting, right?
Fighting.
Yeah,
Right. Okay. There, I can see a clear advantage when you talk about wingspan. You talk about power and
strength.
strength, like the ability to generate muscle mass, like things like that.
You know what the argument is in the defense is?
Mm.
The counter is in the Olympics, in most professional organized sports, they have criteria
Right.
for transgender athletes who compete. You
They
have
have to
to
repress
be
their testosterone
you have to
levels.
be on certain hormone treatments
Mm.
for a certain period of time, usually multiple years, that will cut into their testosterone levels, which drastically affects their muscle growth,
Mhm.
their bone density, um, their lung capacity, all those things. These are all criteria that have been in the Olympics for like I think at least a decade now at this
Right.
point. And I don't think there is one openly transgender athlete who's medaled at the Olympics. The
There actually is one. I want to say it's an Australian lifter. Actually, I just recently reading about this.
Olympics
I'm pretty
or
sure.
like world trials. I'm talking about the Olympics. But like
I, I want to say she did get an Olympic medal. It was
okay,
some medal, but basically, so the article that I was reading was basically talking about essentially there's two instances of trans women excelling in sports. Like, and I guess we should say that we know of because we don't
yeah.
know if everyone is out.
You got to put a microscope down, and you
There's,
put
there's,
on your glasses,
what are we
and
looking at?
no, I mean like to find these
Oh,
examples.
okay. I thought you were looking at their
Yeah.
body, so I was like, whoa.
Yeah. Well, that's something that
Ah,
isn't. I think that there was. I don't know if the headline was a joke, but like there was some like headline that they were trying to suggest that they would like um
Oh, that wasn't a
that
joke. That was real.
that the
That's what they
students
would do.
need to that their
Yeah.
genitals would need to be examined.
Hmm.
oh boy,
They would have to
that's
do like full
Crazy.
body examinations, blood work, like that type of
Yeah.
thing.
But like,
And wait, another element of that is like for intersex people, like they would have to be broken down like scientifically, chemically to judge are you more male than female? Like that's
oh
gross,
my
how deep they're
god,
going into this shit, like to
gross.
figure out if
Yeah,
someone can play middle school basketball. Like that's
yeah.
how
gross,
crazy it
I was
is.
gross.
gonna say for like Olympic people, why don't like non-transgender people just use this as an excuse to dope up? I mean,
I
like,
was gonna say like these steroids.
like,
Let's just
well,
make
she's
steroids
doping,
legal.
so
But no, but the thing is, you're not boosting your testosterone or anything like that. You're taking, I think,
Suppressants.
hormones to add more estrogen to
Mhm.
diminish your testosterone to
Yeah.
yeah. So they're not. I mean, I guess you consider it. I don't know if you
But
consider it
but
doping because it's not.
to Mike's
It's
thing though, if it and in that sense, even when they use the suppressants, their testosterone levels are still higher on average than a woman's. But what Mike is saying, if they're having to do all these things and they're still saying it's unfair, even though there's no proof of that because it's like been two people out of like thousands that have actually excelled,
yeah.
then the other athletes, the female athletes, should start juicing up to, to
yeah,
get through
make
Yeah.
people.
level the
I
playing
don't.
field.
I don't know.
A
Yeah.
Rod that shit.
Yeah.
Like,
The thing is, and so the thing is, like the video I showed you guys, um, I just feel like some people, like they were trying to bring up the science of it. I just feel
Mhm.
like some people aren't well versed or educated or have the temperament enough to discuss this. Because like
Right.
they were talking about some dumb anecdotal thing where like, oh, I was good in track, but then I raced this random white boy and I lost to him.
Dusted me, yeah.
So like some people aren't meant to have those conversations.
I understand where she's coming from. She was trying to make the example that
Yeah, but
male bodies are
my point is that,
inferior
well,
athletically.
but that's the thing. We don't care. Like that's this whole thing. This whole outrage is arbitrary because, for example, like I said,
Time isn't real.
Shaq is no. Like I think Shaq. Like the idea that like Shaq, like in even high school, like our classmate who's now in the NFL,
Yeah.
him and I can't think of another best. Him and some other guy in our high school who's significantly smaller, shorter, presumably weaker, were on the same team. One
Why you
guy,
gotta talk about me like that? Like,
but no, I actually
in the call.
let's
Come on.
let's set it like that.
say
Like
call a spade a spade.
like they would put our old classmate and Mike on the same team, even though they are drastically different in terms of
Right. Chris
strength.
Manhurst is an actual man, whereas
on a
Yeah,
certain
don't even know.
strength and height
He
and
might
stuff
be
like
like
that.
a lizard thing. I don't know.
Yeah, but
on a certain day, I could have dusted him. Okay.
I'm sure if the J was working, yeah. But like the idea that it's okay for him and Mike to be on the same team because they're gender, but like the idea that a a trans woman who may be slightly stronger based on genetics, that's unacceptable. But Mike, who's shorter and weaker than
Fatter, stupider.
should be playing with Chris
Right.
because they're be like
Whoa.
and it goes and that goes all that goes across the spectrum. Michael Phelps has I believe his body processes lactic acid differently. Either he has like a higher tolerance or he processes it creates it slower. Like that's an unfair biological advantage to other swimmers, but we don't say no. Your body is freakishly different than all the other. Your body naturally gives you an advantage because of your lung capacity and your lactic acid production. You can't compete.
Whoa.
Like,
we have a freak on our hands. Wait, does he have a penis? Yes. Okay, he's good.
Okay, that's fine. Exactly. It's super arbitrary. Like the idea was that like women's sports.
Mike, you're on today.
Yeah. The idea that like women's sports was created because to give women an outlet to a platform to participate in sports that they love and appreciate, to give them the platform.
What else are they supposed to do while they're on their periods?
Oh my god. And then you just
lost it.
And now we lost it. All the good lost.
Yeah.
Then
what was it all for?
What was it all for?
But now you have us like I said, transgender athletes make a sliver of the general national athlete pool that we have, and the idea that like a couple women on sports teams across the country may lose spots because like just let's also be real. Just because you're a transgender woman who has maybe slightly higher testosterone levels doesn't mean that you're necessarily better than every female athlete on the team.
You could be a freakishly gifted athlete and still suck at a sport. There's a lot of people that are.
You can be stronger and still not be good at, I don't know. I'm trying to think of
water polo. I don't know.
Yeah, like your lung, maybe your lung capacity isn't as good as some other person. Like I said, it's all arbitrary. It's all
you got
out
the
of bigotry.
diabetes. Can I just say one thing? I just want to say to the point, like also like of the that like first of all, with the fact that this is happening in the South and it's a conservative led like movement or whatever, like these are the people that literally 70 million people voted for Trump, and
we're doomed.
What?
We're doomed.
No, but that many, you had that many people still lost, okay, and their response to losing and trying to regain whatever power that they might get is to further push people to the margins of society. Like their response is, okay, we lost because we didn't have enough people on our side. Let's find more people that we could put on the other side, like
But
just to
that's
show how
I don't
stupid they are.
I don't know. I don't know how. I mean, I guess you could say they're immoral. I don't know how stupid it is.
I don't
They
mean
won
like
congression. They won.
they're further encapsulating themselves. Like they're just trying to find more people exactly like them to bring into their camp
Yeah,
when they could have took the crazy route and have been like, listen, support transgender rights, whatever. Even if it
nah.
wasn't, yeah, no,
That would make them Dems though. And they don't. They're trying to. Their team Republican. Their team hatred. Their team bigotry. And like for one thing, they almost won. Like they almost won on the platform of just complete science
nah,
denial, hatred.
they
They almost won. Like
they
this,
were
like
way off.
the House of Representatives are the Democrats lost seats in the House to
Yeah, no,
Republicans,
I'm talking about the
and
presidential race. Yeah.
way too close. Like I said, there's no reason that 70 plus million people should have voted for Trump, with or without a
Well,
pandemic.
I
But yet
I
they
agree
did.
with the idea that like you're saying it's arbitrary to use gender as the defining factor in these situations when you know literally like people biologically have not been the same long enough to make this decision. Now, never alone the fact that we, the importance of culture and anthropological parts of
Wow.
humanity have like varied. People. I don't even want to use like specific examples, but like we used to eat fruit and trees. Like, like now all of a sudden, like, we can't play basketball together because she's a woman. Like, I mean, it's just like when you boil, I know
It's
that
dumb.
sounds dumb, but when you
No,
boil it
that's
down,
what
it's
they're.
crazy.
No, that's what it is. That's why it's so ridiculous. And yet, like, the fact that we have to have this conversation shows how like trash a large portion of this country is. Like the fact, um, yeah, it's super arbitrary, and like there is really no point. It's all out of bigotry and like misunderstanding, and like so I don't understand, therefore I hate, and I don't like it, so I'm gonna push back and
Oh,
say
that's what I
that.
was gonna say. Yeah, they're further encapsulating their group, and the main catch all reason slogan is it's different than what I know. Uh,
Yeah,
I can't understand anything different than me. I want things to return to
yeah.
the psychopathic, oppressive ways that they've been.
I'm gonna step in
That's
here.
it.
Speaking of misunderstandings and bigotry and hate, um, are men able to have platonic female friends? This is a question that's being posed by three women
Yes,
on what's the name of that podcast? I don't remember.
Uh, see,
Bridget
the thing
Kelly.
is,
I could think of a couple of names. I don't want
Bridget
to say
Kelly is on
it.
this podcast. Uh,
Let's just say
they
I
are
would not be platonic friends with them.
so
uh,
Bridget Kelly and friends. They're asking, or they're talking about the types of men that have a lot of female friends, the types of men that are not able to have female friends. We talked about weird Republicans recently. So they mentioned what's his name? Pence, Mike
Mike
Pence,
Pence. Yeah,
publicly said that he could not be in a private space with a woman that was
without his
not
wife.
his wife.
Yeah, without his at least
I
without his
mean,
wife.
he also
Without his
calls
wife,
his
right?
wife mother. Like, I
Yeah,
mean, is he the best example? Like,
but
So
but
that was on the negative end of the spectrum where they were saying like, well, clearly, guys that are like Mike Pence probably shouldn't be friends with women. but
yeah, seriously. Like,
but
you shouldn't be left alone with a woman.
yeah,
I think they definitely hit on a lot of points that I can kind of see where where they're coming from in the sense that like there are a lot of guys who surround themselves with women simply for like the sport of it, simply for the carnal need to have women around and have sexual partners and just kind of have that access and that visibility and have the illusion of I have attractive women around me. That means I have worth and I have
or
value.
that you feel good, or you like having attractive women around. It all depends
Yeah,
on like
that's kind
what's
of
your
weird to me.
motivate. It all depends on your motivation behind it, right? Like,
Yeah,
so if you, all right, so let's just say this: if you, I don't know. Well, let me ask this question: is it wrong if you don't want female friends? Like you only want women as sexual partners and romantic partners. Like you don't.
I think that's weird.
It's weird, but
I
is
don't
it
think it's
wrong?
wrong. I don't think it's wrong if you're coming to that conclusion because
You
you know
can't
how
control
you are.
yourself.
Like, yeah, if you know yourself well enough to be like, I can't have that type of relationship,
Or
then
maybe you
yeah,
don't want to.
the
Like maybe you
responsible.
just like.
Yeah, I mean,
I
yeah,
think I think
I
it's
think that's weird because
huh?
like I
Why?
so
Well, all right.
not wanting to have those relationships, that to
Weird
me
as
kind
in
of
unconventional, or
weird
weird
weird as
or
in
something that
why
like
are you
should
that
be
way?
shamed. But
I
like I
mean,
mean,
there's very few things that I really feel should be shamed. I don't know if I'd use that word, but like,
Eating too
I
much
I,
pie. Like,
I would I would you see I get the impression that the video that we watch that they would shame if you like said I don't want to have women as
friends.
friends. I just want like I only want to date and sleep with women.
I think when you make those types of, and the reason I say weird isn't the word. Let me extend my vocabulary. I feel like if a person has that mentality that they can make the statement, I can't be friends with women, like that type of blanket statement and feel 100% behind it, now you're kind of objectifying and like taking the humanity away from these women. Like, and
Mm,
that's what I'm like, if you're saying, because you're saying as a group, you can't be friends with women, what
well,
is
all
it
right.
about women that you can't
Maybe
be
that
friends
not
with?
you. Maybe not you can't. Maybe let's see.
That's the question.
Okay, what like you don't want to be friends with them. Like
But
you
why?
want.
Like,
I don't
what
know.
would you see
I
as
don't
a
have the.
valid reason as to why?
let's just say there's a disclaimer. I don't have this view, but
Right.
how
just the fact that you're saying that tells me that you think it's wrong to have that view.
but
Wow.
I don't know. It's interesting. I do believe that I just to state it. I do believe men can have platonic friends. I have platonic female friends.
Mhm.
Um, but I guess have there been people who have there been female friends I've had or maybe had that I think are attractive? Yes.
Well, yeah. I mean, I have female friends that I think are attractive, but this is what another point in the video is like thinking someone is attractive is completely different from being
Being
attracted
attracted
to
to
someone.
yeah.
Because I
And
have
they
friends that
were
I think are attractive, but I don't
yeah.
want to have a relationship with them
Yeah,
because they're people who
which is
have
something that we
qualities
joked
that.
about. Which is
Well,
something we joked about.
yeah, you guys are
Yeah,
shitting on me for that.
yeah.
But like, I
There are female friends that Kavon has that I've uh nothing. We're gonna
yeah, let's
Oh wow.
leave it.
Oh wow.
basically Kamal is essentially trying to insert my penis into various females,
Don't you dare.
and I'm like, no, no thanks. And
but
yeah,
uh, but like
Why aren't you doing this to me? I don't understand. No, I'm just
because you're in a long term committed relationship.
kidding. I
yeah,
know.
yeah. But
Oh my
like
god. I
part
would
of this,
appreciate the thought.
but part of it is like you can be like they were saying, yeah, you're right. There's a difference between being like acknowledging someone as attractive and being attracted to them.
Mhm.
Um,
I would
I
also
guess
challenge you to say that you can find someone attractive, be attracted to them, and still not want to be in a relationship with them
yeah.
because
Mm,
Well,
like a
being in a
bunch of
relation. Well, all right. Let's talk. Let's pump the brakes on. Let's start at the entry level in terms of like just sleeping with
entry level.
because
Sorry.
something I thought interesting was the girl Bridget Kelly was talking about how she has She has a bunch of male friends,
Hmm.
and she's talking about them respecting her and not being may find her attractive but not be attracted to her.
Right.
I'm sure there are people like that, but like, let's be real, there are also men who either based on um, just like women, the idea of like valuing the friendship enough that like making your feelings clear about your attraction or your desire for them, jeopardizing your relationship is not worth the risk.
Hmm.
Um, there are also people who um, what's it, who may be attracted to the person and want to be want to sleep with them, be in a relationship with them, but and are maybe biding their time.
Right.
There are
It's
people
until the
who
situation changes
yeah, who play the
in their
friend, which
favor.
was with the other girl who was talking about that they
Hmm.
were flirting and she shut it down. But yeah, there are people there because like we said, it's all and like these are all tacts and ways of approaching things, right? Like you can if your goal is to have
Carnal
sex with it,
relations.
yeah, then you that's a tact you take. I don't like that as a tact as a like way. I think it's way too it's gross and manipulative
Hmm.
for
Can I
that.
step in for a second?
Sure,
Please do.
I
obviously.
used to I struggle with this because especially in this this context thinking about it, because I used to have conversations when I was younger with probably like with women and like friends and stuff and say if you were at a bar, okay, and you you whether or not you were looking for somebody to like like talk to like romantically or whatever, or if you're just looking for somebody to talk to kind of thing, um the first thing that you notice about like the person that you're attracted to, whether it be
Hmm.
women or men, is their physical appearance,
Right.
and you start to like build a foundation of how you're going to approach that person based on physical appearance. So I used to make that argument like men can't have any uh like platonic relationship with a woman that they're approaching because it's automatically going to be out of a like a attraction basically. But I
I
don't.
don't necessarily agree with that. I think I kind of agree with the point you're making that like yeah, you when you're approaching another individual like for romantic or like romantic purposes, the first thing you're judging them on is their physical appearance. So like you're approaching them based on you finding them attractive,
Like you're not going to
you
approach
being
them because
attractive
they
or
look like they
attracted.
could be a good friend. Like
Here's an
I want to
here's an
get in
idea
on that. I want
here
to get in on
wait
that also.
here's an idea.
you look like an earnest person.
So here's an idea I have.
You can keep a
I
secret.
I think I think I think every person like when it comes to different gender friendships. I
Hmm.
don't know how to. I'm thinking my wording is wrong on this, but like I
I
think when
think
it
you're
comes
being too careful.
to male female relation
There you
friendships,
go.
I think you. I think there is a like baseline level of attractiveness you find of attractiveness you think the other person has.
Can I
Like
ask a question real
like
quick?
on a scale of 1 to 10, I think that you would think that every friend has is at least like
I
a
just want to ask a
three
quick
or
question.
four. Yeah,
So for you, Kamal, just since you're getting into it right now,
yeah.
when you make male friends, is it because you find them attractive enough?
No.
So how is it that you're only able to do this with women and not with men?
Hmm.
So when you make male friends, it's based off of personality, but when it's women, female friends, it's based off of their looks first. Because we see humans all at the same time. Men
Hmm.
aren't invisible until you get to know them. Okay, so this whole like you only make friends with people you find
Wait.
attractive
All
is
right.
bullshit.
Wait. Question. All right. Wait. So here's a question. Do All right. So do you think that maybe I don't know if we could say this broadly for other people, but do you think any of your friends are ugly slash not attractive at all?
I will say that I have had friends that I'm like, I don't think that person's attractive. I can say that,
Hmm.
male and
Mike,
female.
Mike,
Just tell me how you really feel.
wait, Mike, wait. Have you wait? All right. So just to follow up, have you had any female friends that you said are absolutely not attractive that you consider like a 0 or 1 on a scale of 10?
Me or Mike? Sorry.
You, come on. Just to follow up real quick.
I mean, I wouldn't say 0 or 1. You say 0 to 10,
They're
or
literally a blob.
I would say that I have I've had female friends who, like, I've thought to myself, like, wow, like, I love this person to death, but like, I don't think they're good looking. Like,
God
Hmm.
damn, they need a makeover.
Hmm.
not like that, and not in a mean way either. But just like, I don't think they're good. Like, I'm not attracted to them physically whatsoever. But
Not attract. That's the thing. That's a
but
little
no, but also but both. Like, I from an aesthetic point, I'm like, I don't think they are good looking, and also I'm not attracted to them.
okay. Okay. So all right. So actually, I think maybe I'm um maybe because like I guess my thinking on that, it was like when you I think when you approach I think maybe when you approach someone
Right.
and like you initiate contact and like exchange, whether it's just like a pleasantry or something like that, that to an extent may be like somewhat based on that can be based on attraction. But like if you like
Hmm.
you interact with somebody, like for example, you guys are in the same school or something like that, and
Right.
like you interact,
You're
I feel
forced
like
into an interaction as
yeah,
opposed to you initiating an
that
interaction.
overcomes the am I attracted or not.
I think that's a fair point to make.
So I don't know. So I don't know if I'll complete. With that being in mind, I don't know if I'll completely disregard
But I guess
my
the
my
question is then,
hypothesis.
do you only approach people? Do you only approach females then? Like, you don't try to make male friends, and if that's the case, that's fine,
No, no, but like I don't.
because that's the only way it works. The
I
only
would
way it
say I
works.
would say I would say all my I would say most of my friendships are all surroundings.
Mhm.
I've never gone to a bar to
To exert yourself and like meet people and like
to
be
make
like,
a friend with a guy
right,
or a
right,
girl or to a guy or a girl. Like I've been in circumstances where I've interacted with them, and then like so immediately um the am I attracted to them or not
right.
is either severed or is moved past. So now it's like now personality is immediately going into effect, right?
Hmm.
So like
And in fairness, I would say the same, because like, I'm, as an introvert, I'm not going out
yeah.
to to make
So we,
friends with people, but I still would hold the fact that, like, so let's say those external forces are coming to you, right? So you're in these environments that are friend inducing.
that break the ice for like
Wouldn't it still, you know, to your argument or your theory, like, wouldn't the attractiveness still hinder those interactions, or do you feel like it's forced on you, to it's out of your control at that point?
I
Because I
think
feel like
it's
if you think it's an attractive, like, if an attractive person comes to you and your immediate response is, this person is attractive, I'm
yeah,
intrigued now, then
yeah,
obviously, like, the more natural progression is that you become friends and you develop some type of relationship. Fair?
yeah, yeah.
So, same instance, but the person is not attractive to you. Wouldn't it also follow that you aren't as, at least initially, aren't as invested, because there's not that initial spark, until maybe they keep talking to you, keep engaging with you, and then you find the personality traits that you find endearing, and you're like, okay, I'll be friends with this person.
Yeah, I think I think so. I think my standard, what I was saying, only goes like for approaching,
Hmm.
which is weird that like you approach someone like how many like you approach a girl to like become friends with her, which is funny. But like
Bullshit. Never
yeah,
happened.
but
No
like
man is approaching a woman to become friends. Like, or
but
very
like
few.
but
straight
like,
men.
yeah, I think if you like a if a woman approaches you
Mm,
that that ice is and like has a conversation with you or interacts with you, that ice is already somewhat broken. Like
right.
you are making that judgment on like whether you're attracted or you find them attractive or not.
Mm,
But like the pursuit on like whether you're interested and want to continue talking to them is broken by like, so like let's say, I don't know, they approached me because they liked my shirt, an anime
right.
shirt I was wearing, and they liked the show. So like that already, like, even if I found them, I wasn't attracted to them.
Mm,
Um, that ice is broken and it's like overcome by like, oh, this is someone that I share a pseudo kinship with. We were
mm.
fans of the same show. I like that aspect of their personality already. So like so I want to engage more, right?
Here's another question, just to throw in there, like another element. So let's say you're not initially attracted to this person, but through conversation and engagement, you find out that you have a lot of things in common. You follow a lot of the same things. Do you Are you able to then like develop a different type of attraction, and does that attraction substitute the maybe the physical attraction, or does it not work that way for you?
Funny enough, that I think that actually happened to me,
Yeah.
Then he
where
was
like,
gonna be like, funny enough, that's the relationship I'm in right now.
oh, don't you dare! That's definitely not the way it is. Uh, if she's listening, I was attracted to you from the moment I saw you. Just so you know. Um,
Ah,
but like
Oh,
there have
cop
definitely
out.
there have definitely been like people I've known where I wasn't initially attracted to them,
Mhm.
and through getting to know them and spending time, found them more
More
attractive, more
attractive.
endearing. Yeah,
Okay.
that's definitely
I have a
happened.
very high standard. I go for people who I would never in a million years be attracted to. And through that, if I can manage to become attracted to them by their personality, by little quirks, physicality that I grow to love and know and whatever, that's true love.
I
And
mean,
I'm not.
that can be an
I'm
interesting
kidding.
thing.
That's terrible.
I mean, that sounds a little. I mean,
I was gonna ask you guys what you thought
that
about
requires
the.
a lot of like gumption, because that means that you would be like reaching out to these people and over and just like,
Just scouring the earth for the ugliest people you could find.
Well, yeah, no, it's so ironic because for me it's just like, oh wow, you're interested in me? Like, I take what I can get. No, I'm
like,
kidding.
I definitely believe
Um,
Mike has had a partner where like they've initiated sex and
Careful.
he's like, wow, I'm having sex with her. Like she's letting me have sex with her. He's like, wow, this is
I like pinch myself. I'm like, wait a minute, I'm not in my bed right now. No,
Okay. Wait, Mike, you had one thing, and then I want to get to another element that.
yeah, I just wanted to ask real quick what you guys thought of the girl saying that women have basically women hold the power in the
Mhm.
man in in the male female relationship where
This was
they
Kamal's thesis. This is.
yeah.
yeah that
This is
they
my
they make the terms basically and men are just kind of like hanging on like well we could be friends obviously that's all well and good but if she was ever to be like yo, can I suck your D? Like, you'd be like, wait a minute, what?
yeah. I'm sure there are people who
We
like
were
there are
gonna go
people.
to the friends conference, but I
Yeah,
mean, we could we could hang
there
out in
are
the
dynamics.
hotel.
There are dynamics where there are like obviously where women have been attracted to men and like uh but yeah, like that's my whole thesis, that women, when it comes to romance and sex, women are the gatekeepers, because we've been socially it's been socially engineered, not engineered, I guess, I don't know,
Yeah, engineered works,
It's
orchestrated.
engineered.
biological.
uh
Women are like the ones that can control who they choose to, reproduce with,
nah, it's
basically.
I think it's more, I think it maybe like lends itself to biology, but I would say it's like maybe 70% social. Like if
I think men
if
have more power than they're leading on. Like
nah,
women they
No.
can. they could choose yes or no. Like this guy.
socially acceptable power.
What about when women crush on
So
a guy?
socially acceptable power. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
I
women
feel
crush
the
on guys, but we very rarely see that dynamic. Especially, it's and
it's
to
also
Kamal's
been
point,
socialized that they won't approach the guy.
right? We're not socialized for that to be the norm, so it's like it happens even less.
Yeah,
Men are
Mm.
supposed to be the ones asking for the permission. That's just how it's
yeah,
been for ever.
yeah.
Um, Want to get into one element, come on, because you didn't really talk too much about this, but I'm interested to see where you're going. So you had a comment on, and you were also struggling to use this word earlier, ugly or ugliness. And is it what was it offensive?
Yeah,
So can you expand on that a little bit? Because I know towards the end of that video they were saying ugly men that have or that try to surround themselves with attractive women. Is
yeah.
that what was
I feel
offensive?
for one, I feel like that's something. I feel like that's more often than not something that yeah. Generally, I feel that that word is more offensive than like that's why I prefer to and like I try to use
Unattractive,
not unattractive or
not
not
attractive
very
to.
attractive or not attracted to because it's all perspective, right?
Mhm.
And it's all
It's all the
circumstances.
right lighting.
Yeah, that it's all circumstance, right? So like everybody has their own beauty's in the eye of the beholder. Everyone has their own uh, taste and their what they value more in terms of appearance for
Right.
one another. Sometimes yes, like they may admit that a person is middle of the road in terms of looks, but their personality, things they value, their humor, their ambition,
They're
yada
on
yada.
time. They're
Yeah,
honest. They got a
yeah,
job.
yeah, all those things they find more valuable and lends itself to them being more attracted or willing to dedicate time and energy toward something with them. And
Mhm.
so like I feel that ugly is really um I
I
don't
mean,
know,
when you talk about
it's
ugly, you're
really
talking about
dismissive
physical
and like
appearance.
it's yeah, it's a really brutal it's kind of, for me it feels like a really brutal and like unfair, especially because the petty part in me was like I didn't like the way she was talking about it because I was like, if I'm being honest, you're not the most attractive looking woman right now. You looking kind of like a mess. So like
Wait, who
uh
is saying
So you
that?
were calling her ugly.
no, well
The petty part of
I
you,
don't I didn't find her attractive in that moment, and what she was
right?
saying made her even less attractive toward to me in that
I do
moment.
want to put out like I laughed at it. I thought it was funny. They were joking. I took it as a joke, and
It felt
although
more
I
like
get
like what she really thought and felt, and it was girl talk. So like,
look. I understand, and I love that you have this approach of not calling people ugly. I feel the same way about people calling people crazy, and like a lot of these umbrella terms that we use,
It's
especially when
dismissive.
it's just like, yeah, exactly. That's a Dave Chappelle reference.
Yeah.
So I 100% get it. In that moment in that video, I feel like they were just having fun and being funny. I laughed at it, so I'm not gonna sit here and be like, I'm mad at her for saying it
it's
that
not
way.
mad, but like I it's not mad. It's more like it was annoying. I didn't like it.
Right.
Um, because and like I said, it's all subjective. So like,
So
yeah, she was like,
what
oh
she was
these
saying is that
ugly
ugly
guys.
guys
Oh,
have pretty friends,
yeah,
and they are wanting to surround themselves with attractive women to make themselves look better.
yeah, but she was also talking about like this surprise and maybe even this disdain for this phenomena that uh what she called ugly men can have attractive
Hmm.
friends, and that's weird, and that's something I didn't like either. It's like,
That's
well, like
suspicious.
but she was just railing against this idea of like men feeling incapable of having female friends, but then you were like, oh my god, this how is it possible that these ugly guys get these? Well, it's not supposed to be about um it's not supposed to like you were just criticizing this incapability about having female friends that you're not trying to have sex with. So then why is it now that like how is it possible
Being ugly is
that
disqualified.
these ugly guys have these beautiful friends? Because like why would these beautiful women have be friends with these ugly men. Well, it's because they're not trying to have sex with them. The same thing you were rallying.
Right.
So like it was the like the double standard and the like uh
Women know nothing about double standards.
All right, Mike, you're losing them again. You're losing them again. All right. So I mean, yeah, I guess that it was not a great argument for her to make. I agree with that. But
yeah. By the way, same one that was making the terrible argument that she lost to a boy, therefore transgender women shouldn't be competing in high school
sports.
sports.
Yeah.
Yeah, same one.
I liked her. I
We
thought she was funny. I
there
thought
was a correlation here. There was a correlation
I
here.
thought she was funny. I
There's
thought
a
Who's the
there's a
most? I'm gonna put it out there, and I'm gonna lose even more people. Who is the most attractive of all those three?
Mm, I'm gonna kind of cop out here. I'm gonna say I have to see them standing up.
I agree. I would like to see more.
I have to see them standing up to make
And,
that
and, we're,
final
and, we're,
judgment.
and we're gonna go down this route and be gossipy, objectifying men,
Yes,
I
yes.
and we're gonna just put it out there. I would need to see more of the one on the left. I think her name is Mandy. I would need to see more of her figure.
Mhm.
That was a test, and you guys failed.
Right. We were supposed to say we don't judge women based off of their looks.
Instead, you were like, "Whoa, what does she look like when she stands up?"
Right.
You see,
I mean, I was
wait,
giving the people
when
what they wanted. The people didn't
wait,
want
wait,
the politically correct answer.
wait. When you, I think it's better to say that than like I'd rather what does she look like when she's like
Laying
no,
down.
actually,
Yeah, I was gonna say, what
Come
do
on
you
now,
care
you're
what she looks
losing
like
them.
when she's standing up? She's gonna be on her knees.
see, I was gonna. You see, you think no, it's too much.
Oh, that's
Too much.
terrible.
Now we've
It's
lost
time.
all of our
You
viewers.
see, you see now we all the misogyny, all the goodwill we are building up by not judging people, just all gone, just all
Yeah,
erased.
yeah.
I think it's time we call it a day.
The whole episode went to shit after that. All
I
right.
think we need to partner with them.
We
Episode
love women
31. We love women.
We love women. Love women.
as human
Women
beings.
love me. Women
We
As
love
love
human
me.
women
beings,
t-shirts coming soon.
yes.
I've done more for the blacks than anybody ever. The
Poorly
blacks
Made
love me.
Podcast,
Fully made.
episode 31.
It was.
See you next time.